Chairman Thad, y'all may be seated. Chairman Thad Westbrook and other members of the Board of Trustees. President Michael Amaritas and First Lady Dr. Iro Agalapoulou Amaritas. Provost Donna Arnett. Today's commencement speaker and honorary degree recipient, Judge A. Marvin Quattlebaum. Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and Professor in the School of Law, Joel Samuels. My wife, Cappy Hubbard. Families of the Board of Trustees members. And Faculty Marshal, Lisa Eichhorn. I would also like to thank our musicians, the incomparable Billy DeBose, Charles Pope, Dick Goodwin, Eric Gilfus, Mike Wilkinson, and Ron Davis. Our vocalist, Bree Melton, Law School Class of 2025. Reverend Robert Nichols, First Baptist Church of Columbia. And our sign language interpreters, Larissa Martin and Joshua Van Den Kalar. Please stand now for the singing of the national anthem led by Bree Melton and remain standing for the invocation given by Reverend Nichols.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rang loud, their bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, as we gather today to honor those who have accomplished so much, we want to remember that you have been kind to them, for they are here. No matter how many times they wanted to give up or doubted that they could do it, they did. And whenever we accomplished anything of true significance, we had a village of support. We thank you for that support. We ask for a spirit of celebration and thankfulness, for this is a time to laugh, to smile, and for our heart to be glad. May it be so. Amen.
Thank you, Bree and Reverend Nichols. Please be seated. Class of 2023, this is a glorious day that has been in the making since August 2020, when we began law school orientation as 1L students in the midst of COVID protocols. You were the first class I welcomed as dean. I will forever feel a great closeness to you. You have had a unique law school experience. Through it all, you cared for one another amidst the struggles and anxieties that come with being a law student during a challenging time. You adapted, you rose to the occasion, and here you are today. There are many people who have cared for you over the past 3 years. To all of the parents and extended families, spouses, and children of this class, we know that it can sometimes be hard to be around law students. Law students can, at times, be a bit grumpy, a little distracted, stressed, and just tired. You have not only tolerated them, you have loved them. We know that none of our graduates would be here today without your support. Graduates, to all of those who have helped you get here today, especially those who supported you and are no longer with us, let's give them a round of applause. There's another group of important people who have been with you every step of the way during the last 3 years, in person and virtually. They have taught you, mentored you, challenged you, and cheered you on. Please join me in recognizing the outstanding faculty and staff of the School of Law. We lost 2 beloved members of the law school family over the last year, Assistant Dean Duncan Alford and 2L student G-Day Lawal. Let us now share a moment of silence in memory of Dean Alford and G-Day. Thank you. Graduates, you have come a long way since your first days of law school. You have learned much through rigorous studies. You have achieved. You have won mock trial and moot court competitions. You have taken on leadership roles with journals and student affinity groups. You have served. You have benefited the greater community through pro bono projects and clinics. You have made friendships and memories that will be with you for the rest of your life. Some of you shared with us your favorite law school memories. Let me share some of those with you. I'll start. The first is the inaugural Martin Luther King Jr. weekend celebration, where we were inspired by the ABA president, Deborah Enix Ross, and gathered to serve the community. Another of you said, the way everyone came together and supported one another during the tragic loss of one of our colleagues. While losing our colleague and dear friend was incredibly difficult, it illustrated how we are one big family at South Carolina Law. We have each other's backs through the good and the bad. Another one of you said, representing USC Law at a national mock trial competition and winning the Best Advocate Award, as well as finishing as finalist in the competition. Another said the Wilhelm C. Weiss International Commercial Arbitration Moot, where the USC team competed against teams from every corner of the world in preparation for our chance to set foot on the global stage of international law. This experience has inherently altered my perception and informed my perception of the law, and I am better equipped as a lawyer and a person to enter the legal field with my colleagues here and around the world. Another of you said, I still vividly recall that anxious feeling before my first cold call, but it also reminds me of the overwhelming sense of relief after it was over. The deep sigh of relief after receiving my final semester grades, when I realized that my classmates and I were capable of surviving law school and that our hard work had paid off. Another of you said, being published in the South Carolina Law Review was like hitting the academic jackpot, but having the chance to work alongside and share the experience with so many talented students was like winning the lottery twice. Another said, when they said publish or perish, I didn't realize they meant it quite so literally until I barely made the deadline for my law review student note. And finally, the people. From students and professors to those in the student services and dean suites, and to the alumni and custodial staff, I consider it a blessing and privilege to have traversed the law school experience with all of them. thank you for those words and sharing those expressions with us. Class of 2023, in addition to the great employment opportunities you have accepted in public service, judicial courtships, and law firms, I would note that 5 of you will be going on to seek LLMs in tax. 3 of you at New York University, 1 at Georgetown, and 1 at Florida. 1 of you can ride a 7-foot unicycle and was invited to join the circus. After much deliberation, you decided to join a law firm instead. I know it was a close call, but probably the right decision. You are all talented, you are accomplished, and you care about serving others. You are about to be graduates of the University of South Carolina School of Law, and the future belongs to you. The law is one of the 3 great learned professions. Being a lawyer means being a public citizen. That's not some idealistic call to action. It is part of the American Bar Association's model rules of professional conduct adopted in South Carolina and throughout the United States. When I spoke to you at orientation in August 2020, I shared with you the preamble to the model rules. I will quote part of that preamble again to you now as we send you off. I quote, "A lawyer, as a member of the legal profession, is a representative of clients, an officer of the legal system, and a public citizen having special responsibility for the quality of justice. These are your obligations and your opportunities. You can help to right wrongs, to expand access to justice, to improve lives. I have no doubt that you will do these things and make big differences through your work. You must take charge of your destiny, act with integrity, always choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Identify mentors and reach out to them. Take initiative. Take risks that stretch you beyond your comfort zone. You can make a difference one case at a time, and you can also do this by getting involved in the profession. Join bar associations and serve on committees. Your involvement will give you the opportunity to think about the bigger picture of improving the justice system and helping to solve our larger societal issues. Remember, the object of law is justice. We gather today on the ancestral homelands of indigenous peoples, including the Muskogee, the Congaree, and the Catawba, who were removed from this land. Also, a plaque in front of the President's House acknowledges the vital contributions of enslaved people at the university during the antebellum period in construction, maintenance, and operations. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Please always focus on your opportunity, indeed your duty, to advance the cause of justice, to help bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice. It is now my honor and privilege to introduce our distinguished president of the University of South Carolina, Dr. Michael Amaritas.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, graduates. And what a wonderful morning this is. The Dean's office did a fantastic job dialing the right temperature that we needed. And there couldn't be a more beautiful setting for celebrating your law school graduation than here on the Horseshoe, the front yard of the President's house as well. Today is a great celebration. I know you all have been looking forward to this day for 3 long years. And now the time has come to celebrate your success, not only with your classmates and faculty members, but more importantly, with your families and your friends who are here today. They're also very excited, and they are ready to celebrate. But they have not expressed their intense emotions yet. You see, they're very polite, and they're kind of confused. They see the robes, maybe we intimidate them. It's a pomp and circumstance. So I'm going to give them the opportunity to really express their feelings about your success. As I say, congratulations, class of 2023. It has been a tradition for the past several decades to hold the University of South Carolina School of Law graduation on the Horseshoe, which is the historic center of our university. Your classes and your studies were centered to an impressive new building, just a few blocks away from here. But it is fitting that you close your time at USC right here, at the Horseshoe. Our School of Law traces its beginnings back to 1867, during the era of Reconstruction in South Carolina, and it was the third college founded at USC after Arts and Sciences, which was basically the entire university at that time, and the College of Pharmacy that started 1 year before law. Our earliest law students attended classes in some of the buildings, the same buildings that you see around us today. In fact, the law school's first home was just behind the Rutledge College building that is behind you. And in that time, the class was very small. Many homes existed for the law school, and if you ask different generations of lawyers in South Carolina, what is the new law school? They have a different building than the one that you experienced as the new law school of their time, until we had this very distinctive current location in 2017. And I don't think this will change for quite some time. Maybe it's too soon for you to look back on the countless hours you spent in that building with fondness. But in time, you will discover that somewhere among the exhaustion, the anxiety, and the demanding assignments, this university found a home in your heart, and it is part of who you are. And you are also forever a part of USC's history as well. As the newest class of alumni, you're connected to the rich heritage of accomplished graduates of this institution. And now, you are ready to launch your own professional careers. You are ready to take your place among our most illustrious alumni, and you are ready to make your own mark in your chosen profession. I have every confidence that you are well prepared to succeed and that your achievements will reflect well your alma mater. I hope you will return to your USC home whenever you can to attend alumni gatherings and meetings with former classmates and fellow professionals, or perhaps to mentor future generations of students with the benefit of the wisdom you have gained. By the way, we will also be very happy to see you here during some Saturdays in the fall. But for now, on this moment, your moment, and on the Horseshoe, where you cement your place in our university's history, even as you set off to make your own history in the legal profession. Congratulations to all of you, and Godspeed. We are now reaching the point where we recognize with the highest award of the university, with an honorary degree, some distinguished individuals. I understand, Dean Hubbard, that you have a candidate for an honorary degree.
Mr. President, I have a candidate for the honorary degree Doctor of Laws. Arthur Marvin Quattlebaum, Jr. is a judge on the United States Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit. He was confirmed by the United States Senate for that position in August 2018. Prior to his appointment to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, Judge Quattlebaum served as a United States District Judge for the District of South Carolina. After graduating with honors from Rhodes College in 1986, Judge Quattlebaum earned his Juris Doctorate from the University of South Carolina School of Law in 1989. In law school, he was a member of the South Carolina Law Review. Before joining the federal bench, he was a partner in the Greenville office of Nelson Mullins, Riley, and Scarborough. While in private practice, Judge Quattlebaum's excellence as a trial lawyer earned him induction as a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers and a member of the American Board of Trial Advocates. He remains a judicial member of those organizations. Judge Quattlebaum has always valued public service. While at Nelson Mullins, he provided extensive pro bono legal assistance to those in need. In 2011 and 2012, Judge Quattlebaum served as president of the South Carolina Bar. He currently serves on the board of the YMCA in Greenville, having served as chairman of that board in 2021-2022.
Will the Honorable Scott Moyes, member of the University's Board of Trustees, and Dr. Cameron Howell, the fourth Secretary of the Board, please escort the candidate to the rostrum. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, acting on behalf of the people of South Carolina through the General Assembly of the state, I hereby do confer upon Marvin Quattlebaum the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, together with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities to that degree appertaining. Congratulations, Judge Quattlebaum. I now welcome Judge Quattlebaum to the rostrum to deliver the commencement address.
Good morning. This is such an honor to be here and share this day with all of you. When I was coming in yesterday, I thought, Dean Hubbard, of the first time we met. You may not remember it, but it was right in that corner of the horseshoe. It was April of 1990, my first year of law school, and I was meeting with William Hubbard, not Dean Hubbard then, about joining his law firm. And we walked around this horseshoe, and by the time we got to the other end, y'all know how persuasive Dean Hubbard is. I had made up my mind. And that was an important part of my time as a lawyer and his great memory with William. Yeah, President Amaritis, Provost Arnett, members of the Board of Trustees of the university, faculty and staff of my great law school, and most importantly, to the class of 2023 and all those who have gathered to be with you today, thank you again for letting me share a little bit of this day with you. About 2 years ago, Laurie and I, who's sitting in the front row there's first grandbaby was born. And she lives with her mother and father down in Bluffton. And we went down to visit, and on the way back, a song on the radio caught my attention. You may have heard it. It's a song by Chris Young called Voices. I'm going to read, thankfully for y'all not sing, the chorus. I hear voices all the time. My dad saying, work that job, but don't work your life away. My mom saying, drop some cash in the offering plate on Sunday. My granddad saying, you can have a few, but never cross that line. I hear voices all the time. When I heard those lyrics, they made an impact on me. And I started thinking, what voices have had an impact on my life? And I've been fortunate to have many. Family, partners, friends, pastors, many people who have influenced me in a positive way. And I'd like to share 3 this morning with you. These 3, though, are not from personal relationships, but from history. John Adams. John Adams was our second president, but he was our first lawyer president. And he was not just a politician with a law degree, He was a real lawyer, a great lawyer. His political rival, Thomas Jefferson, appreciated his greatness. Speaking of Adams, he said, "When Adams spoke, his hearers rose from their seats." That's a goal for you future litigators to aspire to. His most famous case was defending the British soldiers charged after the Boston Massacre. That was at a time in 1770. The sentiment in the colonies was angry towards the British over taxes. Y'all know the story. At the Boston Massacre, soldiers were guarding the taxes at the Custom House in Boston. Colonists gathered to protest. How it all started is somewhat in dispute, but what's not in dispute is that the soldiers fired on the colonists, killing 5, injuring 2. The colonists were mad before that. They were furious after. They wanted revenge. The soldiers were charged with murder. But there was a problem. No one would represent them. The soldiers were hated. They had no lawyer until one man stood up, John Adams. Not because he agreed with them, but because he thought the rule of law was more important than his political views. And he defended those colonists. That was costly to Adams. He lost friends, he lost clients, he lost money. But to him, the rule of law was more important. I hear John Adams' voice in my head. It's a voice that says, doing what's right is not always popular. And it's a voice that says, even the least popular in our society deserve a fair shake from our legal system. Fast forward almost 200 years to South Carolina. The next figure I want to talk about is Matthew Perry. Simply stated, Matthew Perry is our state's greatest civil rights lawyer. His impact on our state cannot be overstated. He integrated schools, beaches, parks, restaurants. By his work, over 7,000 students arrested for sit-ins were released. And his most famous work is probably assisting Harvey Gantt, who went on to become the mayor of Charlotte, be the first African-American student at Clemson University. Matthew Perry was then the first, or later became the first African-American federal judge in our state. And just down Assembly is the federal courthouse now named in his honor. But despite all he accomplished, he suffered. The indignities he endured in his practice are hard to imagine. He was forced to sit in the balcony and wait to the end of court sessions. He was put in jail for what he did. He endured slurs, insults, and even death threats. You would think that would have made him bitter, but not Judge Perry. There was not a bitter bone in his body. I still remember the first time I appeared before him. We had a hearing. I don't even remember what it was about. I was just in awe of being there. And afterwards, I was packing up. Judge Perry said, "Mr. Quattlebaum, will you please come to my chambers?" I was horrified. What had I done wrong? I went back there expecting to be, called to the carpet. Judge Perry said, "Sit down. I don't think I've met you, Mr. Quattlebaum. Tell me a little bit about yourself." And he just wanted to meet me. And then when we finished, he says, "I hope you have a wonderful career. If I can help you any way, I'll do it." Judge Perry's voice is in my head. It's a voice that says treat everyone with dignity and respect, no matter how important or unimportant they may seem. And it's a voice that says if someone mistreats you in your profession, Don't take the bait. Rise above it. Class of 2023, your clients need you to remain calm, and our profession demands that character. Our last figure is Eric Little. Little is not a lawyer, but this is about work. His story goes back about 40 years to 1924. Little is a Scot who's one of the favorites for the 1924 100-yard dash. He's worked for it his whole life. But he's also a man of faith, and he has struggled and actually been criticized a little by his family for putting his work above his faith. But he felt he could glorify God by his work. It turns out, as they were going over towards the Paris for the Olympics, they discovered that the heats for the 100-yard dash fell on Sunday. To Eric Little, that was a problem. He observed the Sabbath. But surely you could put that aside just once. It's the Olympics after all. He didn't. He dropped out of the race what he had trained for his whole life because his faith was more important than his work. I hear Eric Little's voice in my head. It's a voice that says, when you work, work hard, work with passion, do the very best you can do. But there are some things, faith and family, that are more important, and never let work take precedence over those. Class of 23, as I close my remarks, I want to shift the focus from voices that are in my head to voices that are in yours. As you leave here, you are going to be exposed to all kinds of voices. Some will be inspirational. They will cause you to live out the best ideals of our profession. Some, however, will pull you the other way. They might encourage you to cut corners, to compromise your integrity, to pursue economics over what you know is right. I challenge you to sift through those voices, identify the ones that are positive, and cling to them. And don't just cling to them, study them, emulate them, and then teach them to others. If you do that, class of 2023, I know you'll be great lawyers, but you'll even be better people. I want to congratulate y'all on everything you've accomplished. Today is a great day. I want to welcome you to this next step as members, as practicing lawyers in our legal profession. I can't wait to see what y'all accomplish. Thank you again for letting me be part of this day.
Thank you for those voices, Judge Quattlebaum. Will the candidates for degrees please rise? Mr. President, all candidates who stand before me and others who cannot be present but whose achievement is being recorded officially by the university, having completed the requirements for their respective degrees, are herewith recommended by the faculty of the university for the conferral of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in the University of South Carolina by the people of this state, acting through their representatives in the General Assembly and on the Board of Trustees of this institution, and on the recommendation of the faculty thereof, the University of South Carolina confers upon each of you the degree for which you have been recommended, together with all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Would the members of the graduating class please come forward to be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, when our graduates walk across the stage, Professional photographers will take photos. We appreciate your staying seated during this time.
Nathan John Roger Abernathy. Matthew Bruce Abney, magna cum laude. Brent Carlton Adams. Sarah Nixon Addy. Suleiman Shah Ahmad. Tabitha Christine Alcott, cum laude. Carson Seabrook Anderson. Kaya Rebecca Andrews, magna cum laude. Anne Grace Arneman. John Wells Baker Jr. Andrew David Balserzak. Whitney Alexandria Barnes. Eric Noel Battier. Eric Luther Baxley. Dakaya Nicole Baxter. Catherine Faye Beeman. John Henry Belsier III. Emma Jordan Blakely. Morgan Riley Bowes. Robert Turner Bonds, cum laude. Arden Elise Bohr. Charles William Bootle II, cum laude. George Pasquale Bornasian, cum laude. Timothy Jabril Boykin. Bradley Austin Bridger. Meredith Cooper Brown. Paige Lavinia Brown. Rachel Augusta Bryant. Elizabeth Marie Bolzomi, magna cum laude. Melissa Campbell Byers. Robert Edward Bird, cum laude. Caitlin Summer Cameron, cum laude. Benjamin Stillwell Cardew. Layton Elizabeth Carlock. Nicole Neela Carson. Luther Frederick Carter Jr. Jasmine Nakia Brianna Crothers. Robert Dean Cathcart III. Christopher Shane Coffin. Caroline Elizabeth Cheek, magna cum laude. Mallory Anna Clamp, magna cum laude. Adam James Clardy. Caroline Madison Clark. Christian Lane Compton, cum laude. Morgan Lindsay Compton. Sarah Kathleen Compton, cum laude. Tony Marie Conliffe. Thomas Zachary Cook. Christian Thomas Cooper. Michael Austin Coward, magna cum laude. Catherine Jarrett Cox. Mary Reagan Crosby, cum laude. Danielle Marie Darrow. Kiana Hazel Dawson. Lisa Ann Deedle. Hannah Renee Damaris. William Albert Dennis Jr. Kirsten Ariana Doe. Samantha Jordan Dorward, magna cum laude. Joshua Clyde Dressendorfer. Grace Elizabeth Driggers, summa cum laude, and recipient of the Dean's Medallion. Hunter Zane Dunn, cum laude. Morgan Christie Eddy, cum laude. Jacob Daniel Edwards. Henry Hershaw Fair. James Edward Fant. Warren Cole Foster, cum laude. Logan Hallie Furr. Lucas Stephen Gladstein. Jonathan George Grove, magna cum laude. Michael Folger Grosso, cum laude. Anna Lee Gumpert. Rachel Nicole Hatt. Sarah Grace Heaton. Lydia Robbins Hendricks, magna cum laude. Zoe Rebecca Henriksen. Matthew C. Hicks. Emma Grace Higgins, cum laude. William Edward Hilger, magna cum laude. Morgan Briggs Hill. Jessica Marie Hoffman. Laura Payton Hooven. Brittany Jaleesa Horn. Lauren Allison Hoynes, cum laude. Helen Nicole Hoyt. Lauren Elaine Rebar. Ashley Lauren Rubala. Bailey Alexandra Humphreys. Allison Simmons Hurst. Harper Lee Hudson. Ellum Andrea Ebium. Kind of like a mango cut. Benjamin Roper Jenkins IV, cum laude. Caitlin Meredith Johnson. Adam Steele Johnston, cum laude. Molly Marie Keegan, cum laude. Richard Hill Kirkland, cum laude. Kyle Matthew Cook, cum laude. William Brendan Kuntz, cum laude. William David Curriger, magna cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Lackritz. Justin Charles Lawler,